Well, first off, I want to make this point. This cat is smarter than Jamie Dimon and Lloyd Blankfein put together. He's smart. Don't let his looks fool you. He's got these whiskers. He can sense things. He knows what's going on, right? Is that what you do? He's a calm little guy, man. I tell you that right now. Hey, I got to address some things about... actually, I saw it. Somebody called my attention to... about the FIAT pumpers, and I don't really check his blog anymore, but it was the news unit, whatever the hell it was. And he put my video on there about, I don't even know what the hell he said, but it was about money as a guise. Well, that is the classic textbook definition, basically. Money is a guise. It has no intrinsic value. That's the textbook definition. If you go to school and you study these things and you go to college and universities, that's what they teach you. And it's almost like, the FIAT pumper is now telling us that that's a ludicrous statement. But, when you start thinking, yeah, that is a ludicrous statement. Money is just a guise. That's why you buy physical money. Physical money. Money that you own. That's why you buy silver and gold. Because it has intrinsic value. I don't know. I don't give a shit what people do. They can do what the hell they want. One good example, because basically the textbook definition of money, basically it's just a medium of exchange. Anything can function as money. In times of emergency, cigarettes and booze can be your money, right? Cigarettes have always functioned as money in times of emergencies, actually. If you're in a Holocaust prison or something like that, concentration camp, you could trade rats as money, right? Hey, I got 2 rats and I need some cigarettes. There's some cigarettes, here's a couple rats, that could be money, right? Rats could be money. Anything could be money. But basically money is when the government decides what money is. That's what happens, right? And look what happened in Russia, for instance, if you want to see what happened with the ruble. I shouldn't laugh because the Russian people got screwed over, a gazillion times in the last 100 years. I don't know, not a gazillion times, but many times over. The ruble went down from 1 to 10,000 to 1 and all this type of stuff. They issued new rubles. And you look at what even happened in the Bolivar in the last, 5 years. They had a few major downgrades. So, the government basically decides what money is. So, okay, the United States of America looks like a pretty strong country, except we're the biggest debtor nation in the whole history of the world, right? So, well, if there's ever a freaking problem with the money, guess what? You want to be holding silver, not the dollar. And, it's going to come on and bite you in the ass at the last minute. So, I don't know, whatever. I know some people are like, ha, it's going down to $10. Ha, it's going down to $5. Ha. I don't give a shit. Do whatever you want. If you think it's going down there, you're a Karnak the magician, do what you want. But I think those type of people, they're just very spiteful, hateful, and they're never going to make a move anyway. And if they make a move, it's going to be a very small move because they're going to be too scared. They're going to be too chicken. Buck, buck, buck. You know what I mean? They're going to be too chicken to put their money into something that's pretty much, it is a high-risk asset, and it does have a lot of fluctuation. But, the classic definition of money, basically, is it's just a medium of exchange, and it has no intrinsic wealth, and it's whatever the government decides what money is, basically, the currency is. That's like the simple classic definition when you go to school and you take economics or whatever the hell it is, and that's what they'll tell you. And you can see there's something wrong with that definition. It's just a guise. It's not really worth anything and it's unto itself. And you think to yourself, that doesn't seem to make much common sense. Well, that's why people buy gold and silver, because it has intrinsic wealth, intrinsic value, in other words, intrinsic value. A value that can't be depreciated to zero as a piece of paper can be, unless maybe I guess a Confederate dollar may actually still be worth a lot today as a historical value. But it's not worth anything too much as a medium of exchange. So, that's basically your classic definition. Now, I put out something about Major Anatoly Golitsyn and former KGB major and all that type of stuff. I read a lot about this guy, and it's like, it's years and years and years before this stuff happens. It's like, you don't want to be like emotionally on edge. Oh, the sky's falling every freaking day with this garbage, but it's something to keep in your mind. There are long range plans for things to happen. And, I have to look at like our President Obama. Man, if there's ever somebody that is a 100% Manchurian candidate, 100% owned head to toe, it's that guy. Holy shit. Because, I almost feel that he's almost like, we're being played into Karl Marx all the way, man, with this guy. All the way. It's screwed up. Big time. And, it's like, it may be the time, it may be under his administration, that we see some sudden financial problem. I don't know what it's going to be. But, it'll come out of left field. Now, today, I want to give you an example. We had another freaking storm down here in the south in Florida, and the power went out. And I'm like, I started my diesel generator and all that garbage, and I was running on diesel generator on YouTube and all that type of stuff. I was using diesel generator power, and I was still on YouTube until I fixed it a few hours later. I don't know what happened, but there was just some hellacious storm, and they knocked the power out again. But basically, that's kind of like what's going to happen all of a sudden with the financial system. It's probably going to happen that way with the dollar. Right now, it looks like the BRIC nations are in trouble. The emerging markets that looked so damn good back a while ago. It seems like the dollar's the safety. But if you look back, basically, if you look back to say even early, say 2007 or even early 2008, the euro looked so strong, didn't it? The euro looked like the safety, didn't it? Didn't the euro look like a safe bet? The euro was going up to like, $1.50 to, $1.50 to the euro. It looked like, it was going to be the new world reserve currency and catch up to the dollar. And then what happened? It changed, didn't it? I think they are planning on some kind of, I'm going to have to go by instinct. That's really, cat instinct. That's why I got the partner here, man. The cat instinct. I think they're going to throw something at us out of left field someday. And the one main problem you're going to have with precious metals is that if it goes way up in price, they are going to excise tax the crap out of it at the bullion dealers. They're going to have all these forms and all this kind of garbage. I don't know if they're going to confiscate it, but they're going to tax the crap out of it. That's what I think is going to happen if it goes way to hell up there in price. But at one point in time, the largest debtor nation in the history of the world is actually going to have a reset of its currency. There's no doubt about that. It's a mathematical impossibility that the United States can freaking continue on this route. And it's also a mathematical impossibility that the smartest people in the world and the best money managers in the world are not doing this by accident because they don't know what they're doing. They're doing it on purpose. And basically the game is to screw the middle class as much as possible. So ergo, that's why you buy silver. You're actually still protecting your wealth. Not on a daily basis, because silver's a volatile metal. But hey, if you don't buy any, oh well. What can I tell you? You're not protected. That's just how it is. So, but like I said, government money has no intrinsic value. None. Zero. It has no intrinsic value. None. That's by the textbook. It's just a guise. It's a medium of exchange. That's all it is. Anything could be a medium of exchange. So the government decides what is legal tender. But actually, if you actually look at the laws of economics, anything could be money, can function as money. If there was no government, something else could function as money. But the thing is, our debtor government, how long do you think the dollar is going to hold up, backed by the full faith and credit of the United States government, which is the biggest debtor nation in the world? I don't know. They're sure putting up a good thing for how long it's been going, but looking at a little common sense, and I'll use some cat sense here. We just had I think we already had the correction. And if you look back in the 70s, and I don't think it's going to be the exact same pattern. Actually, it's probably going to shoot up a lot higher than what happened in the 70s. But if you look back in the 70s, there was about almost a 50% correction before it started taking off again. But it was that last year in 79 where it really got most of the gains. It happened all at once. And that's exactly what's going to probably happen with silver. It's probably going to stay in this doldrums crap in the 20s for a while. I don't know. I think 26 is going to be a pretty hard resistance point. Now, like I said, I've been saying all along, I don't know what's going to happen in the Middle East, but that may be the major catalyst that's going to actually start bringing up gold and silver up to really super high heights. I don't know when that's going to get, what's going to happen there exactly. And actually, I think if there's a major conflict in there and it's like all this talk, Russia's talking this way, and Putin's talking this way, and Obama's talking that way, I would ignore that because I think it's all well-rehearsed garbage. You really don't know what's going on. You really don't know what's going on at all. And, actually pretty much every time there's a war out there, it's almost, the only ones that suffer is the people. It's not the leaders. Unless you're Saddam Hussein, of course, and you get hung, right? Or if that was the fake guy, actually. But anyway, or your Gaddafi, if you're that leader, then you're screwed, right? But anyway, what I'm saying is, mostly the people that suffer is in wartime is the people. It's the people themselves that suffer. It's not the leaders themselves. But I just want to reemphasize again that money in itself, as definition textbook, has no intrinsic value per the textbook. It's just a guise. It's just a medium of exchange. It actually has no value to itself. And you think about that. Gee, doesn't that sound crazy? Well, that's the textbook definition. It's defined by the government, what money is. They define it. It really has no intrinsic value itself. It's just a guise. It's just a medium of exchange. And they could change that anytime they want. But the problem is they can't change material things like silver. They can't say silver just leaps out of nowhere. They could create new money out of something else, new kind of paper. They could make a new money, and to say that's money and that's a legal tender. But they're not going to create some new silver someplace and say, oh, that's silver. They're not going to be able to do that. And that's actually why you actually have owned money. Now, I know silver hasn't actually been used as money since like the 1800s, but it still has had intrinsic wealth, and it's still been, and they took it out of our coinage back in 1964 due to the value going up over $1 an ounce back then. So anyway, I do think that what's going to happen, it's going to be all at once, and you're going to least expect it. And, if it happens, I guess the fiat pumpers, who are fiat pumpers, and they are like, oh, that's the, silver, haha, it's going down to 10. If it goes up to $100 an ounce, they're going to be all pissed off too. Because that's the type of people they are. They're spiteful and hateful, and I really don't care. Do what the hell you want. But I got mine. So, I'm sitting pretty, and I don't give a damn. So that's just how it is. So special message out there for some of the people that are hateful and spiteful and hide behind the Bible. They're not true Christians. A true Christian wouldn't be that way. A true Christian would never be that way in a million years. That's a fact. It's almost like, you look back during the times of abolitionism and, when they banned alcohol. It was almost like hate and spite. You're not allowed to take a drink because, the Lord says. Oh, come on. You know what I mean? Come on. Have a little fun, live a little bit, hey, take a little risk. Buy a little silver. Big deal. What's the problem? Actually, if everybody in the United States bought, I don't know, 50 ounces, 10 ounces, or 15 ounces, or whatever the hell it is, well, if they all bought that amount, hey, you know what? They can always use it for medicinal purposes. They'll have a nice stash for colloidal silver for decades to come, They'd have enough colloidal silver to fill up a swimming pool with that much silver. And it would have very good medicinal antibacterial, antimicrobial properties. So that's something good about it. But again, the problem is with money, it is just a guise. Money is not really, does not have, by textbook definition. I mean, the real true money is owned money. True money is gold. True money, should be silver too, but it hasn't been for a while. But true money should be something that has intrinsic value, but it doesn't. It doesn't. It's defined by the government. Problem is, our government is so much in debt, and I don't know how the hell they're going to keep this game going, because, right now the interest rates seem like they're creeping up a little bit because, well, they are creeping up. Actually, they spiked a little bit here recently, but there's nothing like catastrophic happening yet. But those are warning signs. Those are warning signs. And the 6 Hindenburg omens, you know what that means? That means we're probably going to have a crash in the equities markets pretty soon. And and just like I said, George Soros's bet is on that. If that happens, they're going to have to go back into markets and buy. And then the thing is, when they buy to hold up the markets, how do they unwind their balance sheet? Just like the one guy says, oh, we can mint. How do we just fix this problem? The government is allowed to mint a coin, so they can mint. This is one person seriously said that was high up in the government. I forgot what it was. They can mint a coin, like a 1 ounce platinum coin, call it $1 trillion, and deposit it in the treasury, and that would balance the books. Really? Well, the other way to balance the books is actually to revalue silver way the hell up there. How's that? How about that? It just may happen, though. It just may happen that way, because if you look back historically, and actually one good government to look at historically, very recent to modern times, is what happened in the Russian government. And actually, ever since Russia, they always had, even though they had all these terrible czars before communism, they always had a stable currency for hundreds of years. It was when the Bolshevik Revolution came about is when they had problems with the currencies. The Bolshevik Revolution. It was since that time that they had problems with the currencies getting devalued tremendously. 100 to 1, 1,000 to 1, 10,000 to 1. When they reissued like 10,000 rubles of your old rubles will give you 1. That type of stuff. And that was due to debt, because of excessive government and excessive control by government. And what do you think is going on in the United States, right? But the silver stayed the same value, right? So that's why you hold it, because you want to own something that is not controlled by the government per se. The government just can't arbitrarily revalue silver, something that has industrial wealth, industrial value, that easily. It's not that easy. Even though they're doing that somewhat on the spot market, it can't be done that easily. They're not going to actually make silver go to zero, because the freaking mines would shut down way before that time. So that's the definition of money. I just want to put that out again. Money basically is nothing but a medium of exchange by the textbook. It has no intrinsic wealth. It's just a guise. So it can be valued. In other words, the government decides what money is. If the government decides that all the money you have in your pocket that's paper cash is now to be traded in for 100 to 1 for something else, like they did in Russia so many times after the Bolshevik Revolution, and that happens like that in the United States due to all the debt problems, well, that's what happens. But it's not going to happen with your silver that way. It's not going to happen with your silver that way. And that is why you hold it. Actually, when the storm hits, it's going to hit all at once. Just like today, the lights were on, everything was fine, and a storm hit and the lights were off, and I had to turn the generator on. That's what actually factually happened today. I had to turn the generator on. And I'm glad I got that damn diesel generator. It's about the, 6th time I used it in about a year. A lot of power outages. And actually, one that was probably more memorable was they had a power outage the night before 12/21/12, December 21st, the Mayan calendar, there was a power outage here locally in Florida that night. It made you wonder, right? But it was nothing to do with the Mayan calendar. It was just an ordinary power outage. But that is why you hold silver, because the government can define what they consider as money, but they really can't define what silver is, and that is why you hold it.